All right. So this is going to be a fun one because this is one I've been kicking around in my head for a bit of Batman and of a crossover between Batman and Exorcist. So in here, if you're wondering what this is about and why isn't it like, oh, shouldn't it be, is it Constantine involved? Why isn't this a Hellblazer crossover? Because I really wanted this to be to really like be invoked by like Legends of the Dark Knight, the Batman imprint from like the 80s and 90s, where Batman would go on these adventures and some of them would be like almost supernatural and bordering on it. It's also very like this story is also inspired by the one of my favorite Batman stories, Batman Gothic by Grant Morrison. That's one of my by far favorite if I was to do like top 10 favorite Batman stories, Gothic would probably be in the top 5. Anyway, so let's dive into, and also if you're wondering where we are Batman timeline in this is like somewhere year 2. So let's get into it. So Batman, this crossover begins with Bruce being summoned by Gordon late night at a apartment complex in Gotham, somewhere like deep in Gotham, like one of those new housing complex. So it's a family known as the Butler family, and young Alex Butler, 10 years old, has just brutally murdered both of his parents, and the kid's already been taken away to child services and already being and Batman like gets called in and he sees like it's horrible, and he's even like, him and Gordon are like, there is no way a kid could do, because there's like blood and organs on the walls, there's like blasphemic images everywhere, and Batman is just kind of like, this is, wow, that's a lot, especially coming from a kid. And like Gordon is telling him like, yeah, we got the kid, and the kid bit off like 2 of the child services members' fingers, as well as like he's a small 10-year-old boy. It took 3 of my officers to hold him down and get him into the car, and they had to sedate him. They're already recommending he go to Arkham already. They were, and some of them were really scared. Like those 3 same officers went home and cried. But yeah, so Batman's already like, this is weird, and he's like taking pictures of like the blasphemic symbols and weird symbols already. But he's also like asking Jim, like, why did this is open shut? Why did you call me? Like, I know this is gruesome and all, and Gotham is known for like all of these horrible things, but this is open shut. I'm not needed for this. And he goes, I know, but like, this doesn't feel right, and you know that. So so Gordon explains that Alex Butler and his family were happy. They've been married, like the family's been married for like 5 years. Even like the kid, like his parents weren't really married and they had a kid out of wedlock. And eventually he did get married to him. They were all happy. And then one day, like a few months ago, Alex started to experience like weird tremors and shakes, and also like he was having weird moments and like bouts of aggression and whatnot. So the family thought he was like having some kind of brain injury or having some psychosis. So they've taken to hospitals. Apparently they found we don't know the hospital records, but I can tell you the doctor they went to, and Batman like in his head is like, oh, I know who it is already. And he goes, it's Dr. Leslie Tompkins. And he goes, all right, Jim, I'll see what I could, like, of course he doesn't go, all right, Jim, I'll go see what I can do. He's like, he's already gone, because he already knows who it is. So Batman goes to Leslie, and he's like, Dr. Tompkins, I need to speak to you. And immediately Leslie's like, first off, you know the rules. We don't talk when you're wearing that mask. So Bruce just takes the mask off and is like, Leslie, I need to know about, I want to know about Alex Butler. And she goes, the Butler case was just weird all around. So apparently the kid's parents brought him in about 3 months ago when he was having violent outbursts, and they were already taking him to the hospital. And I've checked the hospital records. They found nothing wrong with him, like no brain injuries, no tumors, no nothing. It's almost, and he was a good kid, like he was a sweet kid, but it looked like the more I visited, like the more he visited me, the more like his body like deteriorated, like it just looked like there was a parasite on him. And he's like, "Can you tell me why his behavior changed?" And she's like, "One session I had him through hypnotic session, and this other persona, like his imaginary friend Captain Howdy, talked to me, and he said they first met during the kid found his mom's old Ouija board that she had when she was a teenager. Like, oh, fun Ouija board, ooh, scary. He played with it, and that's how they got to talk." And he goes, "Okay, anything else?" And he goes, no, Bruce. Like, but I have this weird feeling that this is different. Like this sounds all. And she also points out like, this also sounds like something I heard back in Boston. And he goes, "What was it?" Because she's like, "Yeah, I heard about this store." Like Leslie talks about the Exorcist, and also we're not referencing the other movies. We're just talking about the first movie. So she talked about she talks about this girl named Reagan. She also had an imaginary friend and voice called Captain Howdy in her head, and she went through all the medical procedures, but her body deteriorated, and it led to an exorcism. But after that, no one knew what happened to Chris, her mother Chris, or Reagan herself. And yeah, Batman's just like, all right, I'll keep that in mind. So Batman then goes to Arkham finally to see Alex, and Alex is just looking like death. In fact, the room they put him in is cold, and Batman asked one of the orderlies, like, "Why didn't you put him with the other kids?" And they're like, "We are scared as hell of this kid. He tore he bit a chunk out of one of our orderlies. And that dude was like 6'5" and 300 pounds. And now that dude is like in the gone home, and we found out he killed himself." So Batman is like, "All right, this is weird, but I'm going to talk to Alex." And Batman is not convinced of the whole exorcism thing Leslie told him. He is just like, it's got to be like some kind of mental trauma, because I've encountered so far in my time as Batman, I have encountered some weird shit, but nothing too weird. Like this is nothing really. So Batman goes to talk to Alex, and he's like, "Hello, Alex, do you know who I am?" And he's just like, "We know who you are." "We?" And Batman's like, "We?" He goes, "Yes, we've seen you in the dark, and we do not appreciate that you wear our face and fight for angels." And Batman's just like, "Am I talking to Captain Howdy?" And the demon just Alex just smiles, and he's just like, "Is that what they called me?" And Batman turns is just kind of talking to him, and then the boy just instantly mimics his mother's voice, and she just goes, "You look so happy, Bruce." And Batman "What the fuck?" Because it's like, there is no way a kid could mimic my mother's voice and know that was me. And he goes, how did you do that? Batman's this is year 2 Batman, so he's still got some emotional stuff to him. And Batman's just like, how did you do that? How in the hell did you do something like that? And he's just like, "Do what? Did I say something?" And he goes, "Say it again." And then he uses his Thomas Wayne's voice, and Batman's just like, "I don't know what's going on, but I need to leave." And he's like, he looks all Batman-ish, he's all "It's weird, but I'll investigate further." On the inside, he's just like, if this was a comic and have inner monologue, it would be my "I am scared right now." And he goes back to Alfred, and he basically talks to him, and he's telling him, it's that whatever that is, that's not a child anymore. It sounded like my mother and father and called me Bruce. How would a 10-year-old boy know that? And he's just freaked. Batman is just freaked out right now. but he does like recompose himself and call, and like he makes he makes contact with Leslie again. He's like, I need you to pull up any I need your help, Leslie, because there's something there is something definitely not right with that boy, but I need your help in figuring out what that is. I need you to tell me more about this Reagan case. So she tells him all she knows, and then like points him in the direction of they don't know where the family went. They threw their they went incognito for a while. So Batman goes to Boston, and the only other person, there's only two people he can really talk to, according to Leslie, and that is Detective Kinderman and Father Dwyer, and they basically talk about he visits both of them separately. Although he does follow them out of, follow them out of a movie theater they went to together. Obviously a nod to the alternate ending of the movie, and of course, Exorcist 3, my favorite. So, and the reason why he didn't talk to them together was I don't need both of them stumbling over each other and trying to tell me. I need to see if their stories will link up separately if they're lying to me, because again, Batman doesn't trust any of this. So he goes to Kinderman first, and Kinderman has this very holy shit, you're real, you're Batman, right? All right. And he's just, and Batman talks to him, and he's Kinderman tells him about Karras, and the murder that he was in charge of that led him to Reagan. And he goes, do you believe there was an actual exorcism that took place? And all Kinderman says is, Father, all I believe is 2 men went in there to save that girl, and neither of them walked out. And so I couldn't tell you what happened, but all I know is there's good and evil in this world, and I don't know what side's winning anymore. So Batman leaves, goes to the church where Father Dwyer is, and Batman, he crawls through and climbs into Dwyer's office, and Dwyer freaks out because he just saw a fucking demon. He tells his side of the story. It's very similar to, only he does talk about the exorcism more in depthly about Father Karras and what happened there, and yeah, so Batman is this, I don't know what it is, but maybe an exorcism can help if it's to shock that Alex awake. So Batman is learning about how to perform an exorcism and whatnot, and Alfred makes the point of, you're not a priest, Bruce. You are, you're just a man who, mind you, wears a costume, but still, you're just a guy. You can't do this. There's no way. Let's take into account that, let's entertain the idea that this is real. Whatever this thing is, it's not gonna be easy for you. And he goes, I know, but I have to save that. If this is the only way to save the boy, because now Bruce is convinced there is something wrong here. Then I need to figure it out. So Bruce goes back to Arkham, and at this point, it's fucked up. Arkham inmates are freaking out as more than usual. There's even some of the orderlies. The word got away from me. Orderlies are even acting erratically and whatnot. So Batman goes to Alex Butler's cell, and he just opens the door, has a cross, and the kid goes, "It's a wonderful night for an exorcism, isn't it?" So Batman begins reading prayer and using the holy water, and yeah, obviously shit's going wild, the head twisting, the vomiting. It's just all crazy. But the thing is, it's all for show, because again, Alfred was right. Bruce really has no belief. He doesn't believe that, his parents are in the afterlife. He just believes they're dead. Like, they're just dead. Like, they are dead and rotting in the ground and killed by by some random act of violence. It's bad for Batman, and he's even got like thrown against the wall, and yeah, it's it's just bad until Batman hears another voice chanting prayers, and it's Dr. Tompkins. Leslie comes in with cross in hand and is like saying the words. And it's actually working, and with her help, Batman actually expels, well, Pazuzu out of the boy's body. And yeah, by the end of it, the boy's calling for his mother, not realizing what he did. So now Batman looks at her and is like, "Oh, he's like, I can't help this boy, you can." So now Leslie has the unfortunate job of telling him, "Hey, your parents are dead and you killed them, but not really. You're also demonically possessed for months." So yeah, Batman just leaves the night now having this understanding of there are greater things, and he thinks back to what Kinderman told him. It was like, there's a war between good and evil, and I don't know what side's winning. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is my Batman Exorcist crossover. Nothing big, just kind of a dark horror story of Batman battling Pazuzu, very much like Legion inspired, Batman Gothic inspired, all of that. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of this story? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.